So for the past couple of weeks, I've been carrying around this book. This is the Bhagavad Gita, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why that is and share some of my ideas about the things that are going on right now in the world. Maybe you're feeling the same way, maybe not, but in this video, I'm going to dive into it. And a little bit of backstory. I just got back from meeting a couple of friends of mine, Ryan and Tracy. Thank you guys for watching the channel, sharing your feedback. I really do appreciate it and I value it. Thank you guys. We were talking about the state of the world, the state of affairs in the world, and I mentioned that I've been, having this book close to me for the last few weeks and always off and on in my mind. I think that the plight that Arjuna and the situation that Arjuna is in is the situation we're all in, and especially right now, all the time, but especially right now. Obviously, there are forces at play in the world that are, there's a power struggle going on. Let's just call it what it is, right? There are things going down. Let's just leave it like that, right? You know what I'm talking about. You watch the media. You're tuned in. You're tuned in, so I don't need to really explain what's going down to you, but there's things going down. And I feel that right now, more than ever, all of us are being called upon to suit up in our spiritual armor and get on the playing field and fight the good fight, like Arjuna was called to do, right? I don't consider myself a fighter, and I don't consider myself a warrior, but we all are that, right? We're all fighting for the well-being of the planet, the well-being of the universe, the let more light into our world, to be bringers of joy, right? Help one another, serve in the best possible way, whatever way that is for you, right? Remember, each of us come in the world with different skills and attributes and tendencies and characteristics that make us well suited to serve in certain ways, right? Years ago, I practiced Aikido, and one of the things that I took away an immense amount of benefit from that. By the way, shout out to One Hand Speaks. You can follow Alejandro, who was my sensei, our sensei at Three Shapes Aikido, at One Hand Speaks or onehandspeaks.com. An incredible individual, incredible human being. One of the things that I remember from practicing that is the story he would tell of O-sensei, who was the founder of Aikido, right? He had all these different types of students, different characters, so to speak. One of the students, these were his first students, right? So these were the direct students that practiced with him. One of the students was very big. Actually, this was a story we heard at the dojo, but I believe it might have been taught to us by Robert Nadeau sensei. Either way, here it is. So one of the students was big guy, built like a big guy, big elephant guy, right? O-sensei took the portion of Aikido that was well suited for that individual and transferred that to that individual because that individual was well suited to receive and teach that aspect of Aikido. Another gentleman, Robert Nadeau, received the energetic portion of Aikido, right? And he was taught that and given that because it was well suited for him. Another student, a different type of a different aspect of Aikido. Another student, a different aspect of Aikido. So from O-sensei, the founder of Aikido, he gave each of his students what they were well suited to do, right? And from there, then it spread out because typically the founder being the embodiment, right, of all of Aikido, not all of the students are going to be able to hold all of the Aikido, all aspects of Aikido. So it was given to the students. And mind you, there's no randomness, there's no accidents in the universe, right? It wasn't a random event that all of these different students could embody or hold all of the different aspects of Aikido to be transferred on to future practitioners, to future human beings, right? That's not an accident. And so the reason I tell you that is there's qualities and tendencies that you have that make you well suited to fight this battle that we're in right now. And again, I'm not talking about a physical battle or a war battle where we're going in to do battle like Arjuna did, where he was in combat with other people. But what it really is, and like Ryan Tracy and I were talking about, is it's a spiritual battle, right? It's a spiritual warfare. And by that I mean it's a war of focus and a war of attention and a war of intention, right? These are all aspects that we do as spiritual beings when we're focusing on what we want the world to be, when we're focusing our attention on positive things in the world, and setting intentions of how we want our world to be, because this is a pivotal time. Obviously, it's a pivotal time because the battlefield is buzzing, right? The battlefield is being stocked with players, right? It's coming to game time. We know that. Recently, I've noticed myself, and I try not to do this, but I've noticed myself sometimes amplifying negativity in the world. I'll get riled up about something, right? Years ago, I gave up listening to politics. I never really did listen to it, but years ago, I made a conscious decision to stop listening to the media and news and politics, and I started just going within and doing my own thing and focusing on my purpose in the world and tuning into who I was and getting in touch with myself and going down that path, because I was like, I don't think I need this anymore. It wasn't benefiting me in my life. I was feeling anxious. I was being swayed. Well, I've noticed that happening a little more recently, because even though I try to avoid the media and even though I try to avoid the political surface, it's really unavoidable. Everything's, like I say, things are coming to a head. And I notice that I get anxious and I'll get like mad at situations. I'll get mad at a person, and not a person that I know, but a person on the playing field, right? A politician or a different type of person. I'll get mad at this or mad at that, and I'm like, Mark, what? This isn't benefiting. What are you focusing on? Because I know that what I focus on expands, and what I focus on comes into my experience, and what I give energy to as a spiritual being, as a spiritual warrior, grows. And so I know that I don't want to give energy to strife or conflict or negativity or anything that in that area. I don't want to give energy to that. And I know that when I stop giving energy to that, that's one more human being on this planet of 8 billion plus people that isn't giving energy to that. And I know you're probably not giving energy to that too if you're watching this video. That's what I'm talking about being a spiritual warrior and fighting the good fight. Intention, attention, and focus. That's our sword in this fight, right? And so that's why I keep this book next to me. And I guess I should say, I'm going to summarize the story of the Bhagavad Gita very briefly, and I will say I'm not an expert on the Bhagavad Gita, so if you want to know more about it, please find someone else on YouTube or online who is much more knowledgeable about this. But in a nutshell, here's the thing. Arjuna is a really great warrior. It's understatement, super warrior, right? He has a special bow and a special quiver that never runs out of arrows, right? Incredible warrior with these special skills, kind of like super warrior. And he's on this battlefield. The story all takes place on this battlefield, and Krishna is his charioteer, and Krishna's driven Arjuna out to the center of the battlefield, and Arjuna is sitting there going, look, I don't want to fight. I don't like war. These people that I'm fighting against and with, they're my family members, they're my kin, whatever. I don't want to kill them. I don't want to do this thing. Does this sound familiar? Right? What's happening in the world right now? A lot of this going on. A lot of people, even maybe in your family, maybe in your friend circle, people are on different sides. Sound familiar? Arjuna tells Krishna, look, I'm not going to fight, puts his bow down. He says, I'm done. I'm not going to do this. And Krishna says, look, you have to fight. You're a warrior. This is how it's going to go down. You do your thing, and it's like taking the action with a detachment from the result. And Krishna goes through this whole convincing by showing Arjuna some things that most human beings do not see about what's at play in the universe, right? What's really going down, the bigger picture, so to speak. And Arjuna finally realizes, oh, you're right, I do have to do this. It is my duty, it's my calling, it's my purpose. I got to do this, and eventually he does that. Obviously, I'm glossing over a lot, and obviously there's a lot that I don't know about the Bhagavad Gita, but what I do know is that, like Arjuna, we all have to suit up, get on the playing field, and fight the good fight. And by fight the good fight, I mean focus on positivity, amplify joy and well-being and happiness, and bring more light into the world, right? How does joy and light come into the world? Well, it comes in through human beings. It comes through by what we think, say, and do, by the actions that we take, and by the people that we inspire, and by the people that we're inspired by. It's like a flame. You light it, it goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. But so is negativity, right? We get to choose the world that we live in. And right now is a very pivotal time, and this is why I'm sharing this message with you. I don't consider myself a warrior. I don't consider myself a fighter. But all of us, every single one of us right now, are fighting for the future of the world that we want to live in. So I'm sharing this with you because I think it's relevant at this point in time, right? And I hope this message finds you well. I hope that you will consider this and do whatever you're called to do, right? Whatever your higher self, your wiser, knowing higher self is inspiring you to do right now. Remember, speaking from that perspective, speaking your truth, speaking your intentions, speaking your goodness, right? Speaking your joy, right? After this thing's all said and done, and what I mean by after this thing's all said and done is I mean after we leave this world, wherever we go to, right? And we leave all of the ideas about who we leave all the story. This is what Eckhart Tolle talks about, right? When you die, everything's stripped away, right? The story of who you thought you were or who you believed you were, everything that worries you, everything that makes you anxious, everything that was, giving you trouble in this world or that you struggled with, right? Addictions, all the things that are troublesome in this world. When we leave, all that stuff gets stripped from us and we go pure to the other side because we can't take that. That's physical baggage, right? That's mental, carnal knowledge baggage it doesn't go there because that doesn't go through the filter that strips us away when we come back to a spiritual perspective or a spiritual point of being, right? So at that point in time, we'll look back on this situation and maybe we'll laugh, maybe not. I don't know. I haven't been there yet. So, but I know this based on what the Bhagavad Gita has taught me is that it won't hold the meaning that we think it's holding right now. And it won't be such a anxious, worrisome time. And we'll maybe laugh. I don't know. Maybe laugh. I hope this video finds you well. I'm going to wrap it up at that point in time. Go check out some stuff on the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, if you feel that maybe this is resonating with you at this point in time. And maybe you want to know a little bit more about the situation Arjuna found himself in and what he did and how he got through it. Like I said, I feel that this is basically just right like this book is saying. This is playing out just like it is in my perspective. So I want to thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. On this channel, we talk about business and lifestyle design from the inside out, or you can have access to enhancing the human experience and all the other content streams that I put on this channel. But essentially, at the end of the day, it's about helping you have a better life, right? Helping you do your work in the world, serve in the way that you want to serve, in the way that makes you happiest, and impact other people, and lots of good stuff coming in the future. So I'm excited to have you on board. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much for helping me get to 500 subscribers recently. I'll be doing a video shortly talking about that and sharing some of the insights that I've learned on my journey so that hopefully you don't have to take 5 years. Maybe you get it done in 3 months. Maybe you get it done in a couple months, right? I follow a guy right now online. He's almost to 1,000 and he's only probably a month and a half, 2 months in. Kudos. And I may share that with you in that video and his story. But yeah, my whole thing is I want you to get where you want to be faster in your business and your life, right? I talk a lot about getting business online and helping you put your business online, specifically talking about content marketing. I believe wholeheartedly in content marketing. I've seen a number of people radically transform their lives because they got onto YouTube, they got on the internet, they started creating content around their passion and around what they knew, and built an audience and sold digital products and leveraged the power of the internet to change their lives, right? And so that's what I want for you. That's what we're going to be doing a lot more on this channel too. So if that's something you're into, consider subscribing. All right, and wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Until next time, all the best. Health, wealth, and success. Bye-bye.